Alright everybody, welcome back, and we got ourselves the Pathin. It's a tad bit late, but been dealing with other things irrelevant at the moment, but we're back here, got ourselves a bit of the guide here, so we're going to have a look here. Obviously going to be through in the Pathin, teams, new characters, usual stuff. So yeah, first up, as per usual, got ourselves the Pathin, and in all honesty, the season, very easy. The only thing I will say is that the most difficult fights is in the middle of each half, and then the boss fights. Those are like the only things I found difficult or a bit challenging. That's it. And those are like the main things that I would want to point out, just to make sure. And we're going to be going through this here, obviously. And then obviously, the rest of the board is piss. I will say this much, because if you have a look-see here, right? Look at this here. Easy enough. Next fight after that. Easy enough. Fight after that. Easy enough. Fight here. Not too hard. That's hard. That's easy enough. This one, I wouldn't say is too bad, but we'll get to that. But if we get up to here, there you have a hybrids fight, you've got this fight, and then you've got this fight. All boss fights you would find at the end of the board. And if we scroll up here, we got ourselves the hybrid fight, we got ourselves a Gogeta fight, the Vegito fight, we got ourselves another Uni Rep fight, and then over here, we got ourselves a future fight. And then the same thing goes over here, because you got this fight, you've got, actually that's fight easy enough. Actually, hold on, I think I've done the wrong thing. Yep, here's this fight, there's that fight, there's this fight, and then there's this fight. Easy enough, to be honest with you, but you have to get through this here. So I would not recommend going to that way. And then obviously, as per usual, just standard fights. As you see here, here's the boss fight again. Next one, same thing, all the same thing. So yeah, it's just mostly just those things. Rest of the fights, easy enough. But we're going to get through, I'm actually going to talk about some fight tips as I would say recommend it. So obviously, first one is going to be obviously the first fight, and the only thing I will say, 2 debuffers, a stunner, and a universal cover change. He's gonna cover change no matter what, so you can also get rid of him first or leave him to usual last. So you can either go for him here, or you could just do this here. Obviously don't do this way, because that's not the correct way. We got ourselves this fight here. Now I'm pointing this out because if you have a blast based team, Janemba will counter you. If you don't attack Bojack first, he will cover change, and by turn 2 he'll get a super attack. And this slug, it does something with his green card. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's just probably just gonna be at low debuffs. And then this Burley has a strike cover change if you got a strike team, and he's the max HP of the team. Now I would say be iffy on this fight. Why? Because you got Mai there with the stun, you got Go on there with the death buffs, and that's mostly it. That's the only thing you would, I'd say, worry about. This purple Mai does give like buffs, but that's only just buffs. It's just buffs. There's no debuffs, no nothing, no stuns, whatever. Then obviously I did say this here a few minutes ago, or a few seconds ago, or a minute ago, that we were going to come back to this fight, and the only reason why is because Majin Vegeta, transforming unit, Trunks, True B here, does have a buff against Saiyans and hybrids, I believe, and he has a quick enough super attack build up, but he doesn't get it by the end of the fight. Trunks here, another transforming unit, and then Vegeta Bola has a strike cover change for, I think, the whole board, no matter where they are, and they are massive support. I will be wary of them. That's like the only thing. Majin Vegeta is very tanky, so I want to point that out. Now here, we got ourselves the middle fight here, obviously as the hybrids as I showed you before. Now, only thing I will be worried about is again the Bola there, strike cover change. Beast Gohan has a universal cover change for Blast or Strike. This Gohan here will counter a strike card and get a full super attack. The Panda is a support, he just does damage as a cover change, and kill him before turn 3. So by turn 2, if you kill him by turn 2, you're good, because he'll transform into Beast and then get a bit more powerful and tankier. I would say also actually be wary of this one as well. Not the fact that it's like hard per se, but I just want to point it out because the fact it's a Gohan Buhan fight. And again, transforming unit, and again, damage and strike cover. He's got a bubble shield, he has a chance to double attack, he's just there for damage, and he's got a universal cover change. That's what I want to point out for this fight. Now, to be fair with you, for the boss fight, you can go for this Vegito, Gogeta, or the hybrids fight. Go for any one of them, if I'm being completely honest with you, because, I mean, like, they're going to be somewhat the easiest per se, compared to this one right here with Ultra UI, MUI, Jiren Stun, Beerus buffing, him with a blast cover change, and then a tag unit, and Ultra Goku Black, Death Buffer, decent enough support, Debuffer, another Debuffer, pure damage, and he gets guaranteed super attack turn 1, so you have to kill him before then, which is not going to happen 9 times out of 10. So I would honestly recommend any of these 3 fights over here, because you're going to be going up to this one immediately afterwards, which I'll talk about in a second. But yeah, no, this one we've already discussed. This one, I would say you would need to get at least rid of him, because he gets it. Because I think below 50% of his HP, he does get a guaranteed super attack. He's got a universal cover change. He's got a strike counter. He doesn't have anything other than a blast counter once he transforms. And then more allies dead, the quicker his super gauge fills up. And he's got a blast counter. He's got a strike or a blast counter, so it doesn't matter about that. And a universal cover change, I think, as well. But for this fight, he's got a strike counter, a blast counter, blast cover, strike cover. He doesn't actually have any cover change, but just kill him before turn 3. Otherwise, you're fine enough. Now, this fight, you got yourself a universal cover change, you got yourself a stunner, and you got yourself a tag unit with a healer. Those are the main 4. The other 2, irrelevant. And this team has little to no synergy other than Goku and Piccolo and Berku. The only ones with some form of synergy, actually Roshi and Casserole, because they're both from Universe Survival Saga, but they're mostly irrelevant. As long as you kill him before turn 2, he won't stun you, and if he doesn't have any cover change for like anyone important, i.e. this Roshi, you're fine. And then obviously kill the tag unit at least 3rd or 2nd, depending on what way Trunks does cover change. And then this here for the boss fight, I mean, you can do this here, or again you can go for the hybrids, doesn't matter, but I would say this here just for the wee bit of extra points, because the higher difficulty the more points you get. But if you do want to be safe and you know how to fight, I would definitely suggest this one, because you would have dealt with this here at least 3 to 4 times, depending on the way it's done. Because I know you do it twice in the normal pathing, and then if you go for the boss fight, then that's 3 times, so either twice or 3 times. But if you're going to go for this one, be wary the hit does have a blast and strike cover change. Jiren will stun you. Zamasu, again, that's death buffs. He's got a strike counter, or strike nullification. He's got a strike cover, and he's got a strike cover. And for him, Zamasu covers him, and I think Jiren is someone else. So just be wary of that there, because he will stun you. And he will too, actually, on turn 2. If you don't kill hit before turn 2, he will stun you. I want to also point that out, because I sometimes always forget that. He has a stun turn 2. Just be wary of that. But yeah, no, that's all the important fights I want to like go over. Now, obviously, you're going to have a look at the cover changes on my entire path, and here's going to be the cover changes that is on every single fight. Quite a bit of universal cover changes, but you can't do anything about that unless you go for that character first, or they have no one in their range. And obviously, for that there, I've got, and obviously there's also strike covers, there's too many of them on the path, and so blast teams women through this here. I would still say strike teams can still work, because I did that last season, but just be safe. I'm going to only do blast, because there's little to no cover changes for them, mostly nullifications, but besides the point. Now, if we get into the important fights, depending on the team you use, these are going to be the like guarantee, I think, stuff that's going to happen. So as you can see there's going to be a load of strike cover, at least a good few strike covers. For the hybrids fight, I definitely did say at least 2 or 3, I think, on average, you would get a strike cover. Any nullification always goes through no matter what, so that doesn't matter. Universal cover changes, again, depending, if you go for them first, then they'll always go for you. They will always hit. But if you go for them first they won't have the chance to hit. That doesn't matter. But the point being is that just be wary of this here. That's all the cover changes. That's all the nullifications. So we're going to get into some teams here, and I have decided to try and make them as best I possibly can with regards to the difficulty of the season, but also in terms of uniqueness and ways I haven't done it before. So this should be an interesting bout. Alright, so start off, we got ourselves the girls team, which I haven't even ran for like at least maybe 100 seasons. At this point it feels like 100 seasons, but it's been at least a good over 60. But this team can work. Why? Because you got ourselves quite a few debuffers, got quite a few buffers, a couple bit of, you know, the extra bit of damage. Then you've got 18 there for the max HP, and Android 21 they're saving your ass. But this team is it can work very, very boost heavy though. That is the only thing I will say. Girls is usually very boost heavy, so just be wary of that if you know how to use them. Next up is going to be an androids team. Now I left them out last season, I put them in honorable mentions because they're still good. But this season I decided to try and, here, let's see if they work. Obviously you got yourself Ultra Cell. If you don't have him, then obviously the Zenkai Revival Cell works perfectly. If not, Super 17. If not, then the Tag Droids. 21 there for the Cover Rescue. 18 and 17 there, given the character's buffs. Cell Junior there for a wee bit of extra damage. 17 given the buff effect of attribute abnormal nullifications, and Cell there for a wee bit of extra stuff. Next up is going to be Uni Reps. You know, as you usually do, I like Uni Reps myself. It's a very good team, very easy enough to use. Very so Bergamo there for the wee bit of extra HP. Goku and UI Goku's for the dodge mechanic. And obviously Golden Frieza there for the super attack. And 17 back again for, again, the same reason. Got yourself the attribute abnormal conditions, and normal conditions could be cancelled. So in other words, can't attack does not work if you have him there. Obviously Vados there for a wee bit of extra debuffs, and everyone else there pure damage. Next up and final is going to be a bit of a different team, which is going to be this future team. Now this can work, never tried this here. I just know that this could be powerful, could definitely be remade. That's the only thing I will say. It can be remade to something else, like using Vegeta, the Elf Vegeta Blue, the green one. But it can still work. The Cell actually does buff future, so he's better for this team instead of a regen team. But this here can work very well. Go on there, damage, Zenkai buff, and Blue Trunks there, support, my damage, all the usual shit. Let's go. Now obviously we're going to be looking over the new characters that came out, so in other words the androids that came out. So we're going to have a quick look in a 13, which I do have, and as a support type we're going to see what the crack is with him. As you can see here, 2570, not bad. But if we max out the stats, there's cells 255, 253. So I would say awfully balanced, but oh wait, that's the wrong button. Transformed, still balanced enough actually. So, and it only doesn't really go up by much, but that's besides the point. That's irrelevant for the time being. Next up, abilities, and we got ourselves quite actually a bit of range there for him. So yeah, 80% to damage inflicted, minus 10 to own received. A tad bit odd, because usually it would have been at least maybe like 20 normally. I think, I can't remember. But inflicts all enemies with attribute that 15% for 2 turns, and minus, oh, okay, that's not bad. Does do debuffs, that's pretty good, so everyone gets it. Then on that board of range there, restores health by 3%. For 3 turns, 3 turns 1%, 3% altogether. That's very good. And special move gauge. So that's actually pretty decent. He's a very good support. And then obviously he's a revival unit, so once he transforms, gets 70% of his health, gets extra damage, and damage received. So yeah, no, it's mostly correct. It is usually 20%. So yeah. And let's see here, next one, we got ourselves on Strike or Blast. So again, he can be run on either Strike or Blast androids, as we've seen. Same thing with movies, and same thing with PO. It's very good. So yeah, minus 30% to keep, oh wow. That's quite a bit. Cancels attribute upgrades, minus 10, oh, okay, that's not bad. In other words, if you have a character who, if for whatever reason, I mean, it doesn't seem to be that he gains any form of key recovery, so he's just stagnant at 2570. So unless second ability gives him something, special move arts characters Goku, 40% extra and can't attack. So I mean, I guess most of the game, to be fair with you, so it's just Goku. There's no Super Saiyan that usually is. Then let's see, according to the battle, second turn, okay, so he gets 60% on second turn. And extra damage and restores his own health. I would say that's actually not bad. He seems pretty decent. With only like really one ability that is iffy, because usually by that point he wouldn't be the fastest character on the team until you get to turn 2, because he gets 60%, which is insane. But if there's a character Goku that we target first, and he's like lower key resource speed than Android 13, that's a very good ability. Not gonna lie. But I would say he is actually pretty solid. I would say he's very solid. So yeah, in all honesty, on an overall rating, because I see here Saga is powerful on Android, so he could be running that. Although he would prefer to be on a strike-based team, you can run him on a blast-based team, because the extra defense give him extra bit. So yeah, that's pretty good. Otherwise, I will say this here, I will say a 13 is actually an 8 out of 10. I like him very much. But it's the fact that he's an LF unit means I can't even get him anymore, and the fact the festival's going to be coming up within the next few months doesn't exactly entice me to summon 4 more. So yeah, that's all I got that. So yeah, no, we're going to have a quick look at the other one, that being 15 and 14. So yeah, as a melee type, you obviously want them to be ran on a melee team. No shit, Sherlock. but their stats seem very even enough to the point where you don't need to care. So unless they have something for, I don't know, a different, like something in their kit saying about strike attack, then that's different. And obviously with melee, with obviously like elemental advantage, it's like Kale and Caulifla for androids, seems to be. And so yeah, no, anyways, oh actually I just realized I was looking at the wrong thing. But yeah, no, still even enough, 2,274. Yeah, not too bad in all honesty. So moving on, next one, 15% key recovery, very good. 10% the gauge as well, very good. Applies buff abnormal. Immediately, this first thing, oh, that's also usually 15%, isn't it? No, fair enough. But immediately, the first bit of the kit, very good. Very, very good. Strike or blast. Okay, so yeah, no, strike or blast. He doesn't have anything for strike base, so you could run him on a blast base team if he wants to, if absolutely necessary. 10% own damage for 1 turn. Flex enemy with 10% damage. Ooh, that's very good. And under attack, he does restore it by 2% and get extra gauge. I think that's a bit iffy, because I mean, if we have a look at the defenses, I would say they're not bad, but being realistic, we'll say it's iffy on the end, because that's a bit weird. Anyways, let's see here. Next up, end of turn. Okay, so it seems that by the time the 4th turn comes around, 15 will be the one out, but 1 and 3 will be 14, 2 and 4 will be 15. Alright, let's see here. Then obviously 10% damage inflicted cannot be cancelled, activates once. 3rd turn, special action. Crit rate, downgrades, very good. Special move. Okay, so in all honesty, the best bit about his kit is literally the first thing. The first thing on start for self, best thing about his kit, and in all honesty, the entire first thing, fuck, the second ability doesn't exist, alright? We don't care about the second ability. The first ability is the one where it shines. In all honesty, I say he's very good. Pair him up with 13, basically, you're golden, I would say. But you can run them fine enough on a Striker Blast team. I mean, despite the fact, actually, run them on a Striker Blast team for androids or sagas. Easily very good synergization, because the fact that androids can actually develop with this here. So yeah, I will say they're actually roughly around near the 13, but I'll give them a 7 out of 10, just because the second ability is a bit iffy, minus the tag switch on the end of turn and the 10% damage inflicted. That's very good. And with nothing else ready to say for the rest of the kit, it's iffy. But yeah, no, I will definitely give him about a 7 out of 10, just because the fact the second ability lessens them a wee bit compared to 13, where he does quite a lot, but they are still very good if you got them. Run them on an android team, run them on a saga team, you'll be flying with these guys. You'll be good, I'm telling you right now, alright? And that is it going to be for this TOP season. Went through the teams, cover changes, path, and you know, the usual lot. And I do apologise if there isn't going to be any honourable mentions, because I don't want to load you with a load of bluff that you didn't really actually give a crap about. You just want to see the main teams. But I will say that Dragon Ball Saga, Regen, Majin Buu Saga, Saiyan Saga, Saiyan's movies, you know, etc. and all that, all can be still run. Because even if I have the team right here that I've got at the moment, right? If I just go to Z tier, there's no one there. But S tier does have that Gohan. Then E tier does have Days. I mean, you definitely can like filter it out to be a bit better for yourselves. It can be run, but it's just obviously not the team I've got at the moment. But still can be run. All the usual stuff, hybrids, you know. But I just wanted to speak point blank about that, just rather not give you a fluff. But yeah, I shall see you all in the next one.